One of the most interesting summer breaks is ahead of us, as we are slowly but surely unwinding from the situations that are happening right now on the grid. One of the biggest surprises is Piastri's relationship with Alpine, as the young Aussie is heavily rumoured to have signed a contract with McLaren. As Norris is one of the brightest stars in the league, let alone in his team, Ricciardo is allegedly let go by McLaren. Why is this a big deal? Stick around with us to find out more. Daniel Ricciardo has signed with McLaren in 2021, as the Aussie said that he believed the team has a championship caliber car and is looking forward to his tenure with McLaren. However, the Aussie hasn't had the season he wanted in McLaren in 2021 and is certainly performing much worse in 2022. Apart from Monza's win in 2021, Ricciardo's performance was bad and he was constantly outperformed by Norris. But in 2022, Ricciardo's pace has dropped severely compared to Norris, as their gap in qualifying sessions is one of the biggest ones on the grid. Zak Brown has released a statement earlier in this season that Ricciardo hasn't performed well and that he hasn't fulfilled either his or his team's expectations. This is important because this is when rumours started about Ricciardo's departure from McLaren. However, the Aussie later said that he is committed to the team and wants to make things work in the future, and that he still has a deal for the 2023 season. After certain things transpired in this season, starting with Vettel's retirement and followed by Alonso's announcement that he'll drive for Aston Martin for the next 2 seasons, Ricciardo's place has been really under huge threat. One of the reasons why is that Piastri, the Alpine's reserve driver, has publicly spoken on Twitter regarding the announcement Alpine made. Many people speculated that he had already found a space in another F1 team, such as McLaren, which is why he has announced that he won't be driving for Alpine, the 4th team in the Constructors' Championship this season. But why would McLaren want to get rid of Ricciardo, who doesn't have an exit clause in his contract? One of the reasons why is because Ricciardo is the sole reason why McLaren is fighting for the P4 spot in the first place. Norris has been the main points contributor to the team, and McLaren is looking forward to putting a competitive driver next to him for the next season. This is why they're willing to pay the buyout in the clause to get rid of Ricciardo, and according to rumours, Ricciardo has already been told that he'd be released from McLaren. FIA's Contract Recognition Board, where all F1 contracts are checked for validity, is said to have validated Piastri's new contract with McLaren at the expense of his existing deal with Alpine. Legal actions between Piastri and Alpine are likely to follow, as the youngster may have not followed all the rules when it comes to engagement with other teams. This would hurt Alpine severely, as they invested too much in Piastri, sponsoring him in F3 and F2, as he won those championships and investing more than 5,000 kilometers simulation data for their car. Piastri is still under contract for 2022, but he isn't announced as any kind of driver for the 2023 season. His 2022 deal is set to contain an option on Piastri services for 2023, but that option was not exercised within the required 30 days of signing that contract, which is why Piastri was kind of forced to look for another place and likely has found it in McLaren. What does this mean for Ricciardo? Rest assured that McLaren will turn into one of the most hated teams on the grid with the way that they've treated Danny. Although he's performing badly, sacking a driver while he's still under contract is something that doesn't suit right with the fans. We know how Aston Martin was on the receiving end when Lawrence Stroll decided to sack Checo to bring Vettel, possibly ending the Mexican's career, hadn't it been for the Red Bull's free spot. More importantly, we've seen how Checo bloomed in Red Bull, which is, by the way, a much more competitive team than Danny's available options. Now that we've mentioned them, Danny could be racing for Alpine for the next season, as the team still doesn't have a driver available amid the whole drama with Alonso and Piastri. However, with him seeing how Alonso ran away from the team and how Piastri denied it, he may not be very keen on continuing the collaboration that started in 2019 and ended in 2020. Another option is surely AlphaTauri, replacing Tsunoda, as Gasly has continued his deal with the team. That way, Ricciardo could drive a car that is much more familiar to him than McLaren, and a car that he'll likely score better points than he is now. Either way, as things stand, they aren't looking good for Ricciardo, as he will be forced to look for another seat for the 2023 season. As for McLaren, we aren't 100% sure that the acquaintance of Piastri is an upgrade for them, as the young rookie may need some time to get used to the car. This would mean that they are throwing away everything that they planned with Ricciardo just when he started to find some pace and get used to the car.